Hi, everybody. Erica from In the Company of Cards back again, 2 days in a row. It's not standard for me, but I don't know. It could become standard moving forward. Let's see. Um, Welcome to my new subscribers. Welcome back to those of you who've been here. Um, we'll talk a little bit more about what I want to do with this channel moving forward. But for now, there's a couple of interesting news items that I wanted to talk to you about. And the first one is domestic. It has to do with MSNBC. As you know, that is I don't know, what do we want to call it? The liberal leaning news outlet on the TV airwaves. And there's been an announcement, and the announcement is by Comcast. And Comcast is the parent company of, you know, NBC News, MSNBC, Sci-Fi, a bunch of other channels. But anyway, they've made a decision that they're going to sort of spin MSNBC into a different corporation from NBC News. Now, this spinoff will take about a year, apparently. And here's the point. Here's the point. What this will do will be to cut off access, MSNBC access to NBC News. You know how, you'll watch NBC, MSNBC, and they have a reporter who's giving breaking news about a story. Well, this will cut MSNBC off from that immediate source of news. This will have huge ramifications for that company, for all of their anchors and all of the programs. They will even probably have to change their name. They may not be able to because they won't be under the NBC umbrella, so to speak. First off, let's just look at, gee, why? Why has Comcast decided to do this spinoff, to sever MSNBC essentially from the mothership? And if you know anything about space, if you get cut off from the mothership, how do you survive? So let's first ask, what is the reason for this? As if we can't already figure that out. What is the reason for this? And then second, I'll look at, what effect it'll have. Okay, so, I think I'll use the scythe because that's the NBC cut or Comcast cutting off MSNBC from NBC. If you're from overseas and have no idea what these numbers mean, sorry. They're call letters for broadcast stations. Okay, so let's look. I'm going to use the scythe for the cutting, and then we'll see what cards are around it. Okay. Okay, so this stands for the severing of MSNBC from the mothership, NBC News and the Comcast Corporation. Okay. All right, so the 5 cards are the scales, the garden, the scythe, the letter, and the crossroads. So the simple answer is exactly the answer that many of you will already have assumed, which is that, you know, Comcast did a cost benefit analysis. We are about to enter the dark tunnel of a new uh, administration. And, Comcast is a corporation. And corporations, more than anything, are concerned with their bottom line, right? They do the cost benefit analysis. And in this case, they decide that their bottom line, which is money and support, is more important than what? Than, I don't know, fair and balanced news reporting, having the liberal point of view represented, uh, whatever. Okay. And the Garden stands for people viewers, right? So they're very concerned. This cost benefit analysis about support from viewers. If there's a new administration and things are going to become much more, we'll just say conservative, well, for the sake of argument, what will that mean in terms of who will be watching this channel? Should you make that channel either more conservative or, again, cut them off from the mothership so they can sink or swim as they will, but it won't affect your bottom line? Okay. Center card is the scythe. And what's this all about? The vote. The vote and the way that the vote went, causing Comcast to say, okay, you know what? Yeah, we're going another way. We're going to let MSNBC out to dry. They can't even use the name anymore, probably. And because we are more concerned with our bottom line. So that was easy. Let's look and see how this will affect MSNBC. So for that, I think I'll use the tower for MSNBC. The Lenormand Tower, remember, it's not the Taro Tower falling apart and people falling out of it and it's on fire. No, the Lenormand Tower here will stand for just the entity that has now become an island unto itself of MSNBC. Let's look at the future of MSNBC. So we're going to use the tower. Please like, share, subscribe. I know you're already doing that, but it's the thing you're supposed to say, and I really hope that you will do that. So this stands for MSNBC, putting the two cards to the side, and then the other two. Okay. So again, this news is brand new, hot off the presses, and the cards can only look but so far into the future. And free will is also a thing. So I just wanted to give an overview of what this means for MSNBC. So the cards are the Rider, the Older Man, the Tower, the Heart, and the Clouds. Okay. So the Rider, what is this news meant to communicate to both the MSNBC staff and on-air talent? What is the message that this severing is meant to give them? Well, remember, we can always mirror this first card. This is news. What's the message? With whatever the last card in the line is. Clouds. Your future is in doubt. You're on your own. We can't help you. Figure it out. You'll be confused. You're not going to know which way to turn. That's the message. The message is you're on your own. So figure it out. And it's got to have discombobulated everyone. The second card is 45. And 45 can be mirrored with the fourth card, heart. Why am I saying this? Well, when I was looking at this question, actually, just when I pulled the spread, what came to me was the memory of the fact that Joe, what's his name? Joe and Mika from MSNBC went to kiss the ring at Mar-a-Lago recently after the election, after years of talking about what a bad guy 45 is. Why would they go kiss the ring? What they said they had done is they had gone there. What's his name? Joe Scarborough. Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, the hosts of the morning program on MSNBC. It's like 10 hours long. They say they went there to sort of see where there was common ground. Come on, come on, come on. So, this move by Comcast, I think, was meant to placate 45, who again is the new sheriff in town. I know that's a cynical interpretation, but I'm not interpreting it. The cards are interpreting it. This is to make 45 happy. So here we go into the void, right? It's all right. We're going together, so it's all good. Another thing that I wanted to look at is the future of Matt Gaetz. As my mother-in-law, long departed, would have said, look at God. Just saying. So Matt Gaetz thinking, magically thinking that he was going to be the next Attorney General of the United States because that's what he had been nominated for by 45. Remember that he resigned his position in the House. So he's no longer in the House. Now, the theory was if he resigned his position in the House, that would mean that the House would no longer be able to discipline him for any moral turpitude or, infractions. And that would leave him free and clear to be elevated to this position as head legal officer of the country. Okay, well, that didn't work out. There were leaks. Some of his slimy activity has come to light. Entertainment purposes only, YouTube. And so he has withdrawn from nomination as the Attorney General. Well, so now he won't be Attorney General, saying that the controversy around his nomination was an unwelcome distraction for 45 and what he's trying to put in place. Okay, but the bottom line is, not only is he not going to be Attorney General, he's not in the House anymore. Look at God. So I would like to know, what is the future for Matt Gaetz? We will use the young man in for him, because he's not old. He's not nearly as good looking as my young man, but use your imagination and pretend that card is Gaetz. What is Gaetz's future moving forward, given that he has resigned from the House and he can't take it back, and he has withdrawn his name for consideration as Attorney General of the United States? Okay. So we're looking for the young man. I didn't pass it, you guys, did I? No, I didn't pass it. Okay, so this is going to be Matt Gaetz. Uh, there is only one card in my hand, which means that I have to pull three from over here. And then I only have the one I can put down. Okay. So the cards are tree, ring, young woman. There's Gaetz, and there's the bouquet. So I am going to draw a clarifier or two on that last card. Yeah. Okay. So the tree. Gaetz has been a loyal, faithful servant of 45 for a long, long time. The tree is the card for a long, long time. But old stuff has resurfaced, right? Come back again. That's the circle. What old stuff? His inappropriate conduct with underage girls. Yeah, I was going to say underage women, but an underage woman is a girl. With girls that came to bite him in the butt. Um, this is Gaetz himself. And how interesting, right? That at the end of the line, we have a bouquet. Well, so if I just go with these five cards and I do the mirroring, his lengthy service and support to 45 will still be rewarded. He won't be the Attorney General, no. He won't be in the House of Representatives, no, but he will be rewarded. And then we have the ring mirroring Gaetz himself, which is to remind us, to give us the heads up that he will turn up again like a bad penny. He will come back. He will circle back around. Not for either of those positions, but we will see him again. Why? Because he will be rewarded for his service. Now, I did want to pull some clarifiers on the bouquet. I just pulled a couple. And we have the letter, and we have 45. So 45 will reward him with some position that's not as controversial as, as Attorney General. Maybe you'll make him ambassador to something, or have him just as a close advisor, paid close advisor. He will be rewarded by 45. So he is gone, but not forgotten. So we will keep our radar on him just to see what happens for him next. But at least he won't be the Attorney General. At least he won't be in the House of Representatives. And I take those as wins. Okay. The next thing I wanted to look at is also sort of breaking news. And this is the fact that the International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants, as they have done in the past for Vladimir Putin. But they've issued arrest warrants for Mohammed Deif, who is the head of Hamas. Israel claims to have killed him, but there's no evidence of that. So the International Criminal Court issued a warrant for his arrest, and also issued arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and his former head of the military, who has since resigned over a dispute with Netanyahu. Now, here's the thing to know about the International Criminal Court. It is comprised of 124 nations. However, the United States is not one of them. Interesting, right? I mean, why not? But anyway, now, it's not like anybody's going to go send officers to arrest Netanyahu or anything. But what it does mean, as it has meant already for Putin, is that there are certain places that Netanyahu will not be able to travel to, for example, European countries, many European countries, because if he does, he will be subject to arrest. Why? Because there is an arrest warrant out for him. And why is there an arrest warrant out for him? Well, because of his persecution of the Palestinians. And I use that word advisedly. I'm not making a mistake when I use that word. One of the crimes he's accused of is using, for example, starvation as a weapon of war. Now, here's the other piece of this. The United States, is not a signatory on this international criminal court. We're not part of it. But we have issued a statement exclaiming how terrible it is that this arrest warrant was issued and that proper channels were not, followed, and that things needed to have been slowed down and taken their course before such a rash action were taken. This is America. This is also Biden saying this. This is Biden's position. But Biden's position is that the International Criminal Court, the ICC, was wrong to issue this arrest warrant. They didn't have a problem, the Biden administration, mind you, when it was Putin for whom an arrest warrant was issued by this commission, but they have a problem with Netanyahu. All right. However, moving forward, remember, we are about to enter a strange new dark tunnel with this new reign of 45. 45 is very friendly with Bibi Netanyahu. I would like to know, thinking ahead, what will be the ramifications for the United States eventually once 45 is reinaugurated and Bibi is given an even stronger bear hug by the official government? What will happen in terms of the International Criminal Court and its understanding of who the United States is in the world? So let's see. I don't know. I got to figure out what card I want to use for. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the moon. The moon is the card for reputation, and I will charge that card, which just means intend that card to hold the energy of the United States' reputation in the eyes of the member countries of the ICC. So moving forward, what will happen with the United States reputation in the eyes of the International Criminal Court? Okay, so we're looking for the, what did I say? The moon. Okay. Okay, so here's the US reputation under the new incoming administration, and the reputation, the perception by the International Criminal Court of the United States, given that there will be an even stronger, deeper, more heartfelt hug of Netanyahu and his policies once 45 gets into office. Okay, so we have the fox, we have the tree. This is the United States reputation in the eyes of the ICC once 45 is back, Clover, and the whip. Right. You know, this is the card for foreigners. And the International Criminal Court is comprised of nations who are foreign to the United States, right? I mean, it's overseas. I can mirror this card. So this card stands for the member nations of the ICC. And I can mirror it with the last card, which is the whip. This is not good. This is not good. The whip is the card for, sometimes I love the whip, but traditionally, historically, it's not statistically a great card. This is the card for arguments, disagreements. So we will be having increasing arguments and disagreements of really an unpleasant nature with these member nations of the International Criminal Court. It's not going to be pretty. You know, the tree. The tree is a card about, the thing I'm called to say, that because each card has multiple meanings, but I'm called to talk about the health of the relationship with the member nations of the ICC moving forward. And this is the card for health in all forms: mental, emotional, spiritual, physical health. And I think that the health of these relationships will be damaged. We know this, right? This is not news. But because of 45's stance in relation to these countries. For example, he wants to get us out of NATO. So I think that this health will deteriorate, the health of the relationship between us and, for example, Europe. And I think it'll happen PDQ, pretty damn quick. Clover's a great card. It's lucky, but sometimes that's not what it means. Here it means pretty damn quick. The health of our relationship with these nations will be affected and our reputation will be harmed. Well, so far, none of this is great news. Except that Gaetz is not in the House, nor will he be the Attorney General. I guess that part was good. So a couple of other things. One, I want to tell a little story and then give some guidance to people who leave comments on my channel. And the next is to talk a little bit about the channel. So on this subject, let me just say I had a comment, and I mentioned before that I am really struck by how kind and polite and respectful the comments section is. I do read all the comments. There have been very, very, very few trolls, and I also have a theory that, if trolls are here, it's because they are looking for something. Maybe in their heart of hearts, they hope that I'll say something that will touch their hearts. If they're too trolly, of course, they're not bibbity bobbity boo. I hit the button and they're gone forever. But I want to say this. I have no problem with comments. I'm loving all your comments, but I'm also, I'm not suggesting that all the comments have to be telling me how great I look in the color magenta, or, how interesting my earrings are, or how incisive you think my commentary is. I mean, those are lovely comments and I appreciate them. But I am happy to be corrected if I get something wrong, or I'm delighted when people want to further the conversation that I bring up by addressing a comment to me or to others in this section. But one of the things that I have said more than once, And as a caveat, let me say I may very well refer to it again over time, is the sad fact that 52% of white women voted for 45. Now, that's a fact. And, if the shoe fits, wear it. If you were not one of the 52%, then obviously I'm not talking about you. So why are you cramming your foot into that shoe a la Cinderella? Cinderella's evil stepsisters. Remember, they in the original story, they wanted that glass slipper so bad they wanted it to fit because they wanted the prince, that they chopped their own toes off to jam their foot into that shoe. If the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it. But please refrain from telling me what I should talk about and how I should talk about that, because that's not going to work. Now, I wanted to tell a little story to explain my position on this particular issue. When I was a little girl, I think I was in the fourth grade, and I had a different last name than the one I have now. And the last name that I had was from my father, obviously, and it's German, as is the name Erica. So I had this very German first and last name, even though I am Black. So we learned about the Holocaust, and I can distinctly remember even the seat I was sitting in the classroom. And I found myself sliding lower and lower and lower in my chair as the tears streamed from my eyes. And I'm telling you this story because the reason that I cried and wanted to just sink into the floor was because I had a German name. Now, I was a 10-year-old kid. I had nothing to do with the Holocaust any more than you had to do with the 52% who voted for 45, right? But I didn't stand up and say, I have a German name and I didn't do anything and I don't like being lumped in with those people who did. I didn't say that. Instead, I felt, in my innocence, I was 10 years old, I felt shame. Over the years, I have thought about that a lot and asked myself what that was about. And what I think it was about, and I'm very glad for it, is that even back then, I had this sense of what collective responsibility means. All of us are responsible for everything. It's very easy for us to say, I want to be part of this group, but not that group, right? Don't count me among them. We are one. All of us, in my opinion, come from source, and all of us will return to source. So any perception that we are separate from each other is illusion. And our job is to find our way back to ourselves, right? So what I'm suggesting is, if when I bring up those 52% of white women who chose the patriarchy and chose their own oppression and the oppression of their children and their sisters, if I bring them up, I don't know. Yeah, okay, take it personally if you want. If you were not one of them, take it personally. But then why are you coming at me? Because the conversations that you need to have ought to be with your 52% sisters, right? Why would you come in a Black woman's feed and tell her what she should and shouldn't talk about, what she should and shouldn't say? Miss me with that, as they say. Miss me with that. If your feelings are hurt because I mentioned the 52%, that sounds like a you problem. You're welcome here. But if you choose to go, I get it. I understand. And I wish you the best. you know, my channel, my rules. Speaking of my channel, as it happens, this morning I got word that I have been monetized by YouTube. Amazing, wonderful, terrific. I'm very excited and I thank you all because, the way you get monetized is you have a lot of views, right? So, as I move forward, I've already mentioned that I'm going to be doing something different on Sundays. I'm going to have company and engage in a dialogues with different people that I think you'll find interesting and um, edifying. But in terms of other content, one of the reasons that I wanted to start a channel using Lenormand to talk about these kinds of issues is I wanted to talk about these kinds of issues, right? What's going on in the world, um, both here and elsewhere. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that I wanted people to understand what divination, which is what the cards are, is all about. I wanted to sort of demystify it for the public on a really big scale. Because, yes, I do this work, but that doesn't mean that you can't do this work. The cards are for everyone. All divination tools are for everyone. Um, so I just wanted to, expose you to what Lenormand is about. People have gotten excited about it. I know people have bought my book. People have bought Lenormand decks, whether my own or other people's, and are following along as I do these readings and are learning how to read for themselves. And I am thrilled. So, as you know, if you go to the description of my channel, you'll see that there are oh God, I gotta turn the heat off. Hold on, sorry. That there are resources available to you that I've provided. One is the fact that I have my book, The Language of Lenormand, available everywhere. It is um, a friendly way to learn the cards. I wanted to write a book that was for everyone, not just the scholars who, you know, use it as reference material. I wanted a book that was friendly and accessible to everyone. So there's the book. I do have a course available. That is an evergreen course, and meaning that I recorded all the lessons, and you can go and learn it at your own pace. I have a deck. Obviously, that's the deck that I use to read for you. It's the deck that you see on the wall there. Um, but I thought, well, what can I do here that would expose even more people to what I do? So, at Halloween, I did free personal readings because I don't do personal readings here. Um, and I'm going to do it again on New Year's Eve. I'll come on for an hour and I'll do personal readings. The people seem to enjoy that and got to see how the cards function, in a real lived context, as opposed to sort of an international, national context. So I will do that again. But then I thought, I think I'll start doing some evergreen content here, which is to say, put up some lessons on YouTube for how to read the cards. These are things you can come back to and back to and back to again and again and again. And, there'll be short little 60-second clips that you can use as your own private tutorial here on YouTube at no cost. So, just in return, all I would ask is that you like and share what I do. So this will be, my sort of energy exchange in Thanksgiving for all of you coming here and supporting my work and spreading the word about it. So be looking for those. I'm not sure that I will start that until January. That might be a new January thing. So if you've been wanting to learn more about how to use these cards, you can learn bit by bit, 60-second bit by 60-second bit. Um, and just sort of expand your knowledge. So in the meantime, you have a chance to get your deck. My deck is just one of many, many, many different styles of Lenormand. I think I don't know if I've mentioned this, but uh, I went to China once for an extended period of time and I wanted to read the cards. I was worried that they'd be confiscated. So I just took a 3 by 5 uh, set of index cards, 36 of them, and I just wrote the word, you know, the word cross, the word bouquet, the word star, right? So that I was able to read. So, I'm not suggesting that you run out and spend money. You can make your own deck, and then be ready to join me on this journey here on YouTube, where I will step by step, 60-second clip by 60-second clip, walk you through how to read Lenormand. So I hope that's something that you will enjoy. You can let me know in the comments whether that's something that that you would find useful. And I wish you a good rest of your Thursday, and I will see you for the weekend edition. Take care. Bye.